sense, I think we're higher for longer. What are some of the implications for the stock market for it? If I believe that we're going to be higher for
I
longer,
can't
why
leave
avoid
you
small
alone for a
caps?
minute, can I?
I had everything under control until they blew up the bomb.
What it means for the stock market.
You all right?
Importantly, the challenge for the S&P 500 at the month 2000 had no earnings. So that means that if rates are higher for longer, that means that small cap companies.
What do you say we get out of here before we attract any more attention?
To service that then service to that brings you
Well,
Little present from Sir Francis.
oh, so you found the coffin.
Is too high when it comes to
Is this what I think it is?
Drake's lost diary. Faked his death, just like I said, Sully. He must have been onto something big.
Yeah, well, let's just keep that between us.
Thanks for the loan, Mr. Drake. I think I've earned a look at that diary when we land.
Sticking with the mid-cap companies is perhaps the best strategy. But when it comes to general asset allocation, great high that we're going to be running through comps
So look, when Drake sailed into the Pacific, he took the Spanish fleet completely by surprise. He captured their ships, he took all their maps, their letters, their journals, and he recorded everything in this diary.
So this...
When he got back to England, Queen Elizabeth confiscated all of his charts and logbooks, including this one, and then swore his entire crew to sign
Yeah,
it.
so
You
this...
see, Drake discovered something on that voyage, Sully. Something so secret and so valuable, they couldn't risk it getting out.
All right, Nate, just pretend for a minute that I don't really care about any of that stuff and cut to the chase, would you?
Man only interested in the climax. He must be a real hit with the ladies.
Never had any complaints.
Okay, then. I'll jump to the good part, just for you.
Ho, ho, ho.
Huh?
El goddamn Dorado.
He was onto something big, all right.
Does it say anything else?
Oh, so now you're interested, huh?
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, no. Last page was torn out. I'm telling you, Sully. This is it. This is finally it.
Yeah. Only... we got one little problem.
Yes, that's what I said. It blew up. It's
How the hell for, boy? You in this bitch watching porn? Why you just jump so hard, shorty? Oh, I ain't watching no fucking porn. You tweaking. How you get him out?
Oh, the camera. No, the camera's fine. Don't worry about the camera.
Get him out, don't, my don't.
Sully,
I
the
just
girl
used
could
this
hold the
butter
rope.
knife.
You
You was
should have
just...
seen her.
Fine. You go on out there and you tell her, we just found the lost city of gold. Maybe her producer can get it on the air tonight.
What you so quiet in here for, boy? You in this bitch watching porn? Why you just jump so hard, shorty?
Because we're gonna have every
Watching no
two-bit
fucking
scumbag in the
porn.
world
You
racing us
tweaking.
to this treasure.
How you get him
Unless
out,
we
don't,
cut her
my
loose
don't,
right now.
I just used this butter knife. You was just too quiet in this motherfucker, boy. I ain't hear no phone. So you gonna see my dough knife? Go grab a butter knife and just force your motherfucker away in my shit. I was just trying to see if your raccoon looking ass was good. Get your ibuprofen body ass out my room, man. Is that tissue and lotion? Don't worry about it. Wow, using it for crazy. Like, get your sexy leprechaun looking ass on.
Get your sexy
freaky
leprechaun.
koala looking ass. Get your smooth koala looking ass on my room. Cause you play too much, boy. Yo, possum, I ain't no shit looking ass. You gonna grab a butter knife and really just make your way.
Oh, hold on.
This is pretty bright. There's a sense of optimism that we haven't seen in a while.
Setup is positive, but at the index level, we don't expect to see huge rises. What we're looking for is broader returns.
Returns have really been driven by a narrow collection of stocks, and in our view, narrow stock leadership is fragile stock leadership.
You have some animal spirits. We have weeks, an entire 0.6% as yields rose. Jonathan Farrow is off this week on a much-deserved break. Joining Anne Ray and myself for this hour is Peter Shear, head of macro strategy at Academy Securities. He's going to tell us whether this is the moment, this is the pivot point that we all have been waiting for in terms of some sort of retrenchment or just simply people taking a break amid a lot of uncertainty.
You know, it's hard to get a big pullback up in December, right? The seasonality's there. Everything kind of gets a little bit lazy. It tends to be a pretty trend-following month, but there is risk there. What I've been warning clients over the last month is I felt early on we were calm down, Trump's going to be okay. Expect a level of friction with China as well.
So, Emery, is this sort of a pivot point? Do you think that we can read something into the fact that we didn't see a 58th record high yesterday, that we saw some sort of retrenchment amid a whole host of geopolitical turmoil? I think the market is finally waking up to some of the reality that Peter is talking about, that this isn't going to constantly be smooth sailing with an incoming Trump administration. He's already starting to have these conversations about renegotiating trade deals with the likes of Canada, with Mexico, and obviously, of course, what is going on with China. But what's happening with China right now is happening under the Biden administration, which is basically a tit for tat when it comes to the tech industry. Yesterday, going after NVIDIA with this probe in response to an export control from the Biden administration. We're already in this tit for tat. I think the market's waking up to the fact that, you know what, we're going to get a lot more of that next year. All right, waking up with a 0.6% decline that absolutely changes and shakes all of our expectations.
Over the past couple of years, I've been working at Whole Foods. I know this is only upwards. It's like you're walking around in the corpse of something that used to be squeezing the most out of one person. You can't squeeze no more, and you do it to the next person.
Now let's start off with the inflation report, Andrew. I know it's short term, to be sure, but obviously a lot of people think this could maybe set the backdrop for what we should expect out of the Fed in 2025. What do you think?
Well, I think, Alex talked about there hasn't been a big reaction. Maybe that's because the inflation numbers have come in pretty much in line. The market did a good job of successfully anticipating that in advance. I think that has more to do with it than anything. But, as much as the market's not doing much today, there's a big undercurrent of change going on in the market. The winners year to date are really taking on a chin relative to the losers. Momentum stocks have now sold off today and yesterday, and I can't help but wonder if that's the market's beginning to anticipate the Fed will adopt a more go slow attitude than they have in the past. That would cause some type of rotation out of what's worked year to date.
Yeah, well, I am curious about that because we had talked a little bit about the broadening of this rally over the last, 2, 3, even 4 months or so. Does that sort of get interrupted because of what the Fed does next, or is there going to be a little bit more life left in that trade?
Well, look, what's fascinating is in the last 5 years, the winners year to date have underperformed the losers year to date in December. It was only in 2022 that didn't happen. So, usually people wait around till next year to book gains, but the market gets in front of that and it's starting to sell off. So I think I think that's what's going on in the markets today, and the market needs a narrative to cause that. Maybe it is CPI comes in a little hotter than expected, and the Fed is not as dovish as previously thought.
Andrew, I was checking out S&P sectors and performance for the year. With the exception of the last 6 months, financials have outperformed. Other than that, it's consumer discretionary all day. Anywhere you slice it, that to me doesn't say a rotation.
That's true, except financials have rocketed in the last 2 months. And big tech is actually lagging. Some of these Mag 7 stocks are actually underperforming the market overall year to date. So I hear you, but if you look at the quality tech stocks, they have really underperformed the speculative, junk, lower quality growth By that I mean companies that have traded monster earnings, very high dividend. Maybe they don't have any earnings at all. That's
Well,
what's
not
worked.
quite what you were
Really,
expecting, huh?
Yeah.
Where's all the damn gold?
Yeah, this place was picked clean centuries ago.
Until
Good limey
yesterday.
pirate.
So, if we're going to be taking
No, it
tomorrow
wasn't
as sort of a
Drake.
benchmark
Check
for
this
what
out.
we can expect
Looks
next
like
year
the
from
Spanish
rate
got
cuts,
here before he did.
how would you be positioning? Would it be more risk on?
What the
Would it
hell,
be more
Sully?
risk off?
Nate,
What's the
I'm
best
not
way to
looking for a lousy
express
piece of tin.
that?
I'm up to my eyeballs in
Well,
debt.
I think it's very hard to say I want
I was
more
really
risk
counting
on
on this one.
after a year that looks like it's going to be close
Too
to
many big
30%
bartends
in
in
a
Lima,
year
I
like
guess.
last year. Anyone who's
That
more
and,
risk on, and I hear a
well, just
lot
a
of
few
people
bad
coming on,
deals.
I always told you to stay
talking
away from the
about
bad
being more
guys.
optimistic,
bad
and I
girls.
scratch my head because
Yeah?
they were more
Look who's
pessimistic
What's
in,
that
in
supposed to
years
mean?
past.
That
It's
reporter?
hard to get more
I saw the way
optimistic.
you were eyeing her.
Elena?
I see too many
Please.
speculative.
I snuffed any
There's
chance
just a
with
lot
her
of
the second we ditched her
speculation
on that dock.
in
All's
more
fair in
fundamentals.
love
So
and
that
war,
leads
kid.
me to get a little bit
If you
more,
can't tell the difference.
Then,
cautious
my
or
friend, you
defensive
are
on
in
next year.
big
I
trouble.
don't think this is a 2021 scenario where you have this huge bubble, in speculative stocks at first, and you had a bear market in 2022. But I think you have to think about what areas lag this year, and maybe it's a little bit more defensiveness that works with next year, like REITs. I think that's a very intriguing area that had, they're only up, the sector's only up about 9-10% for the year. Big underperformer. I think you have to start thinking about, more downside protection ideas, because the market has gone the other way, and we've gone from early in the bull market where people are very consumed and not losing money to later in bull markets where people are very focused on, where can I make a lot of money in speculative stocks, and that gets me a little bit more cautious.
And you've heard some folks, Andrew, that have talked about this idea of how do you protect the gains, these monster gains from 2024, 2023, et cetera. Is there sort of an income component? And I mean, I'm talking specifically being invested in equities, but is there an income component there, whether it's through dividend plays or even, I don't know, buybacks to a certain extent, that does provide a little bit more